Chosen one, you are not here by coincidence. The words you're hearing right now are not reaching you by accident. There's a reason this moment found you. A reason your spirit, your heart, your soul is tuned in right now, even when the world outside feels noisy, uncertain, or chaotic. You've always known, haven't you? That you weren't like the rest. That no matter how hard you tried to blend in, to feel normal, something inside you refused to settle. Something deeper. You felt it when the world around you kept spinning, but your thoughts pulled you inward. You noticed it when life handed you obstacles, losses, unanswered questions. And still, you couldn't shake that quiet voice inside that whispered, "There's more, and there is more." But most people never find it. Most people ignore the call. See, what I'm about to tell you isn't easy to hear, but it's the truth the universe has been repeating to you in signs, in strange alignments, in whispers during sleepless nights. The truth is, 99% of the chosen ones ignore this final call from God. They hear it, they feel it, that they hesitate, they wait for certainty, for comfort, for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment never comes. And the call? The call moves on. But you're still here. You're still listening. That means you're different. That means, whether you realize it or not, you're already standing at the edge of something eternal. Maybe you've been asking for a sign. Maybe you've begged for a clear direction, for a message so obvious that even your doubts would disappear. Maybe you've questioned everything: your path, your worth, your place in this vast, chaotic world. But the very fact that you're hearing these words is your answer. You are the sign. And this is your moment. But before we go deeper, I need you to understand something. This message isn't for the faint of heart. This message is a key. And not everyone is ready to unlock the door. So stay with me. Don't let distractions pull you away. The universe orchestrated this moment with precision. You didn't stumble here by scrolling aimlessly. Your spirit was guided here. And by the time this message ends, everything could change. But only if you listen, take a deep breath, let your worries pause, let your heart open. Most people don't ignore the divine call because they're rebellious or because they don't believe. They ignore it out of fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of stepping into a purpose so big, so wild, so unfamiliar, that it shakes the foundation of everything they thought they knew. Maybe you've been there, feeling unworthy, feeling like the path is unclear, feeling like the heavens have gone silent. But I promise you, heaven has not gone silent. You're in the pause before the symphony, the silence before the thunder. And the clock is ticking. You see, the final call isn't loud the way most expect. It doesn't split the sky with lightning or crack the earth with fire. It's subtle, quiet, but relentless. It's a number that keeps appearing. A dream you can't shake. A relationship that ended without warning. A door that closed just as another one creaked open. It's the patterns, the timing, the strange coincidences that tug at your soul, but make your mind question everything. God doesn't only speak in thunder. He speaks in timing. He speaks through loss, through change, through the relentless pull in your spirit that refuses to leave you alone. But here's the tragedy. The world is asleep. People want signs, but refuse the steps that follow. They pray for confirmation, but reject the courage it demands. They desire destiny, but run from discipline. So they miss it. They miss the very thing they were born to become. But not you. You don't have to be ready. You only have to be willing. Willing to trust that your divine blueprint is already written. That the fire inside you wasn't placed there to burn you down, but to ignite the path ahead. You are the convergence of prophecy and presence. But the real question is, what will you do with it? The world has trained you to wait, to ask permission, to second guess, to shrink. But heaven does not operate like earth. Heaven moves on faith, on obedience, on action. God isn't asking for perfection. He's asking for movement. Do not mistake delay for safety. Do not confuse comfort with calling. The path will rarely feel secure, but it will always be sacred. There is risk, yes, but greater is the cost of standing still. Weren't chosen to remain hidden. You weren't chosen to blend in. You were chosen to shift atmospheres, to awaken hearts, to stand when others bow, to speak when others go silent. There is something heaven placed inside you that can't be measured by human standards. But it must be activated, and obedience is the only key. This isn't a call for someday. This is a call for now. And hear me clearly, when the final call comes, there is no second round, no gentle follow-up, no comfortable warning. You are hearing. This because time is thinning, because the earth is crying out for the ones who will not ignore the signal this time. Do not wait for another sign. Do not wait for all the pieces to make sense. Do not wait until you feel qualified. You are not called because you're ready. You become ready when you answer the call. That is the divine paradox. Have you ever stopped to wonder, what if the reason you're still here, still listening, is because heaven refused to let this message pass you by? Most people scroll away. Most people silence the nudge, but not you. You stayed. And that means something powerful is already awakening inside you. So pause, claim your alignment. Subscribe to this channel right now if your spirit knows this isn't just another video. And tell me in the comments, have you ever felt that quiet voice calling you to something greater? This is your moment. The chosen are rarely the obvious ones. They're the overlooked, the underestimated, the broken. But in the spirit realm, they shine like flames, and a storm is coming. Not a storm of destruction, but of decision. Those who refuse to move with the divine flow will be swept by the world's chaos. But those who stand in alignment, they become lighthouses in the dark. You are one of them, but only if you choose to be. This call isn't safe. It will demand everything, but it will give more than you've ever imagined. It will test your faith, stretch your identity, shatter every limitation that ever tried to define you. And still, it's worth it. You weren't born to echo other voices. You were born to carry an original frequency, one that only you possess. And heaven is calling it forward. When 99% turn away, you will rise, not because you're better, but because you remember. You remember who you are, where you came from, why you're here. This is your activation. Your moment of divine remembrance. Answer it. You're still here. That means something sacred is happening. You're not just hearing this with your ears. You're listening with your spirit. Most people turn away before the second part begins. Not because they don't care, but because they cannot withstand the weight of truth. But you can. You've been trained by pain, awakened by silence, refined through fire. That's why you're still here. That's why the final call hasn't passed you by. But understand this, the final call has a time limit, a spiritual expiration date. God doesn't rush, but He moves. And when He moves, everything shifts. You've felt this, haven't you? The world feels louder, faster, more chaotic. But inside, a strange stillness grows, a sacred awareness, a quiet voice saying, get ready. That voice isn't your imagination. It's divine alignment pressing against your hesitation. Many walk with power, but lack purpose. They mistake being different for being divine. But it's not enough to be set apart. You must be set in motion. This is not the season to hoard spiritual confirmations and do nothing with them. This is the moment where purpose demands participation. You've been anointed with awareness. That's why you feel more, sense more, carry more. That's why you've lost things others kept, been removed from places others stayed, found yourself standing in unfamiliar, Territory. All of it has led here. To this moment. To this final call. But only you can decide to answer it. And chosen one now. The real journey begins. You're still here. That means something most people never experience is happening within you right now. You haven't turned away. You haven't silenced that whisper in your chest. You're leaning in, even if your hands are trembling, even if your heart is questioning what comes next. That trembling isn't weakness. It's alignment. See, the chosen ones, they carry more. More vision, more sensitivity, more weight. But with that comes more responsibility. And the reason so few answer the call? It's because that weight is heavy. It exposes every fear, every insecurity, every lie you've believed about yourself for years. But listen closely. That exposure is part of your preparation. The fire inside you was never meant to consume you. It was placed there by divine design to refine you, to prepare you, to break the old limitations and ignite the truth that's been buried beneath the noise of this world. You've been sensing this, haven't you? That pull, that unshakable feeling that something is coming, that your life has been leading to this precise moment. The signs have been everywhere, repeating numbers, dreams that linger long after you wake, sudden endings, unexpected beginnings, the people who vanished without warning, the doors that slammed shut only to reveal new pathways moments later. None of it was random. Heaven speaks in patterns. God speaks in timing. And the ones who listen, they move differently. But most don't. Listen. Most ignore the signs because they're subtle, because they require stillness. And in a world that glorifies noise, stillness feels impossible. But you've always sensed the space between the chaos. That space is where alignment finds you. But alignment demands participation. You cannot keep waiting for the world to make sense. You cannot keep delaying destiny, thinking you'll feel ready one day. That day never comes. Readiness is a lie. Obedience is the truth. The final call comes quietly, disguised in ordinary moments. And only those paying attention will recognize it. Maybe your life hasn't looked like the others. Maybe you've carried loss that never made sense. Maybe you've walked through loneliness so deep it felt like the universe forgot you. It didn't. You've been hidden, but not abandoned. Hidden for refinement. Hidden for preparation. Hidden because what's inside you was never meant for shallow places. The chosen are often hidden before they're revealed. And what you've been walking through? That was the hiding place. The sacred space where your identity was stripped of what the world tried to place upon you. Where your spirit was sharpened. Where your character was built in silence. But the silence is lifting now. The final call is echoing. You feel it, don't you? That tension between what is and what's coming. That holy discomfort, reminding you that you weren't made to blend in. You were made to stand apart, to stand in alignment, to carry what can't be carried by the crowds. But here's the truth: most won't tell you the final call isn't convenient. It doesn't arrive when your circumstances feel stable. It comes when you least expect it. It interrupts your plans. It disrupts your comfort. It demands everything. But it gives more than you can comprehend. It gives clarity. It gives purpose. It gives divine acceleration, but only to those who answer. The world has trained you to play small, to lower your voice, to question your worth, to fit into boxes that were never built for your spirit. But heaven isn't interested in your comfort zone. Heaven operates on obedience. Obedience to the nudge, to the pattern, to the divine interruptions that refuse to leave you the same. Maybe you've already ignored a few of those nudges. Maybe you convinced yourself that the signs were coincidences, that the alignment wasn't real, that your heart was overthinking. But deep down you know better. The chosen always know, even when they pretend not to, even when they bury their gifts beneath fear, beneath doubt, beneath the expectations of others. But the gifts never disappear. They only wait, patiently, silently, until the moment you decide to stop running from yourself. This is that moment. The final call isn't a performance. It's not about appearing perfect. It's about becoming who heaven designed you to be before you even entered this world, the version of you that speaks with courage but heals with compassion, that moves with purpose but surrenders with grace, that walks in truth without apology. That version is waiting to be activated, but activation only comes through action. The chosen ones who shift generations, who break cycles, who awaken nations, they aren't the ones who never felt fear. They're the ones who chose to move anyway. They moved while trembling. They spoke while shaking. They stood while doubting. They believed while questioning. Because they understood that obedience outweighs certainty. And now it's your turn. Your spirit already knows this is more than words. You can feel it. The atmosphere around you is shifting. Your heart is racing. Your mind is awakening. Your soul is remembering that you've been prepared for this. Every loss, every rejection, every closed door, every sleepless night, every unanswered question. It's all been leading you here. You've been entrusted with this moment. And while others turn away, while others wait for comfort, you are being called to rise. But understand this, the window is not open forever. Divine alignment moves quickly. The longer you hesitate, the more the opportunity shifts. If you keep ignoring the signs, if you keep delaying your obedience, heaven will hand your assignment to another. That's not punishment. That's strategy. The universe wastes nothing. The divine plan doesn't stall for our insecurities. You've been chosen. But chosen does not mean entitled. It means responsible. It means trusted. It means called to carry what others fear. And that responsibility? It begins with your answer. Think back, how many signs have you seen? How many patterns, dreams, conversations, numbers, impossible alignments? How many moments have whispered to your soul that you're not meant for ordinary? Those weren't coincidences. They were confirmations. And now they converge into one truth. This is the moment you step forward. Not perfectly, not fully understanding, but obediently. This isn't about being seen by the world. It's about being known by heaven. It's about becoming who the Creator saw in you before the world labeled you. The version of you that walks with unwavering faith, that releases the old timelines, that refuses to shrink. Because the world doesn't need more followers of fear, that it needs carriers of courage. The final call is not safe. It will stretch you. It will challenge every limitation, every insecurity, every false belief, but it will awaken your divine authority. The authority not given by man, but stamped by heaven and chosen one. That authority is already inside you. Waiting. But it only activates when you move. The question now isn't whether you're ready. Readiness is irrelevant. The question is, will you answer? The divine call doesn't wait for the applause. It waits for the obedient. You were made for this. The world may have tried to convince you otherwise. Your past may have tried to bury your purpose. But nothing, not failure, not rejection, not fear, can cancel what heaven placed within you. But it can stay dormant until your decision awakens it. So what will you choose? Because chosen one, this is not just another moment. This is your moment. The final call is now. Chosen one, I see it in you. That quiet storm building behind your eyes. That unspoken question rising in your spirit. You're wondering how to begin, how to step forward when the ground beneath your feet feels uncertain. You sense the urgency, you feel the divine pull, yet still, your human hesitation whispers in your ear. But listen closely, hesitation does not disqualify you. The trembling in your chest, the racing of your heart, that's not weakness. That's alignment awakening. See, The final call never waits for the perfect moment. It never arrives wrapped in guarantees or wrapped in comfort. The call shows up in the middle of your uncertainty, in the spaces where your confidence feels fractured in the silence between the signs. Most spend their entire lives collecting confirmations. They chase repeating numbers. They pray for dreams to explain their path. They crave undeniable proof before they ever dare to move. But chosen one, signs without action are just decoration. They are noise. They are nothing but distractions if you never step forward. You are not sent here to analyze your calling. You are not born to observe from the sidelines. You are here to carry the weight of your divine assignment. And that begins now, not when you feel ready, not when the answers are clear, but now in the mystery, in the discomfort, in the unknown. No, it feels terrifying to release control, to surrender the outcome, to loosen your grip on your plans. But heaven never asked you for control. Heaven is calling for your courage. Courage to rise, to walk, to trust, even when the next step is hidden beneath the fog. The divine path never unfolds in advance. It reveals itself in motion. You step, and the way opens. You move, and the clarity descends. But it only happens when you choose obedience over certainty. And obedience, chosen one, is not a feeling. It is a decision. A bold, trembling decision to answer the final call, even when your voice shakes, even when your knees buckle, even when your mind floods with questions. That's what separates the chosen from the comfortable. The chosen ones say yes with shaking hands. They move while doubting. They stand while wondering if they're enough, but they move. And that movement awakens the alignment that's been waiting for them all along. You've been sensing it, haven't you? The patterns, the divine interruptions, the people removed without warning, the strange timing that made no sense in the moment. But now you see the hidden thread connecting it all. The shifts in your life weren't coincidences. They were divine strategies. They were sacred disruptions designed to position you for this moment. But recognition means nothing without response. Heaven has been whispering to you for months, maybe years, through numbers, through dreams, through loss, through delay. But those whispers have now become a final call, a call that demands your full participation. The world conditioned you to wait, to shrink, to blend in, to play small. But you feel it deep within your bones. You were never designed for ordinary. You've known it since you were young. The ache, that never left. The questions that refused to be silenced. The sense that you don't belong to this world the way others seem to. That is not your imagination. That is divine awareness. And awareness is not a burden. It is your preparation. Your sensitivity is the very proof that you've been entrusted with more. But chosen one, awareness without action is wasted potential. You can feel every shift in the atmosphere. You can sense every spiritual alignment. But unless you act, unless you answer, it all remains dormant. The mission assigned to your life is greater than comfort, greater than predictability, greater than staying hidden. You carry a frequency, a sound and authority that heaven recognizes. But that sound stays silent if you do. That authority stays locked if you refuse to move. So I'll ask you plainly, how long will you wait? How long will you silence the nudge in your chest? How long will you delay what heaven has been preparing you to carry? The final call has come before. Perhaps you ignored it. Perhaps fear disguised itself as wisdom. Perhaps doubt sounded louder than destiny. But the mercy of heaven has aligned this moment again. And hear me, the window does not stay open forever. Divine timing moves. Heaven's blueprint is fluid. You can delay your obedience, but the plan continues. And if you remain still, your assignment may be entrusted to another. Not as punishment, but as strategy. The divine does not beg. Heaven does not force. God will not drag you into alignment. He waits for your yes. He waits for your obedience, not perfection, not flawless execution, just your willing heart and trembling hands. Chosen one, look back. How many signs have crossed your path? How many divine interruptions disguised as inconvenience? How many dreams, whispers, numbers, conversations have pulled at your spirit? Those weren't random. They were holy confirmations guiding you here, to the edge of your activation dot. But now the question is simple: will you answer? The shaking you feel? The tension building inside your soul? That is not fear. That is divine acceleration pressing against your hesitation. The discomfort you're feeling is the invitation to rise. The unknown will always feel heavy. The uncertainty will always whisper doubts. But courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move despite it. And those who shift history, those who awaken generations, they were never fearless. They were faithful. And now it's your turn. Your spirit already knows this is more than words. You can feel it. The atmosphere around you is trembling. Your mind is awakening. Your soul is remembering. Remembering who you are. Remembering what you carry. Remembering that heaven never wastes a moment. The question is not, are you ready? The question is, will you answer? Because the final call is not a suggestion. It is a summons. And chosen one, your decision changes everything. You're still here. That means your spirit is stronger than your fear. It means you've been listening, not just with your ears, but with your soul. You've stayed present while most would have turned away. That alone separates you. That alone reveals who you are. The chosen rarely look like the obvious choice. They're the ones the world overlooks, the ones dismissed, the underestimated, the ones carrying silent storms within them. But in the spirit realm, they shine like flames. And you are one of them. I know you've questioned it. I know you've looked at your life, your mistakes, your weaknesses, and thought, how could I possibly be chosen? But hear me, the divine doesn't choose the flawless. Heaven chooses the willing, and willingness begins where fear ends. But most people never reach that place. Most people wait for perfect conditions, perfect timing, perfect clarity. But the truth is, clarity doesn't come before movement. It comes after. The final call is not waiting for your qualifications. It's waiting for your obedience. And obedience starts with a decision. You've been sensing the storm building, haven't you? That undercurrent in your life that refuses to settle. The way people have been removed. The way doors have closed. The way your old identity no longer feels comfortable. That's not random. That's alignment. Heaven is shifting your atmosphere. God is preparing your spirit for something greater. But preparation feels like isolation. It feels like loss. It feels like unanswered questions. But in reality, it's the greatest confirmation you'll ever receive. The chosen walk through fires others avoid. They endure battles others never face. Not because they're cursed, but because they're carrying assignments that require refinement. You've been refined. You've been stretched. You've been emptied. But now you're being positioned to rise, positioned to step into what you were born for. But chosen one, hear me clearly, the final call is not safe. It will demand everything. It will cost you your comfort. It will stretch your faith. It will challenge every limitation you have placed on yourself. But it will give more than you can comprehend. It will unlock your divine authority. It will awaken your dormant gifts. It will position you to shift atmospheres, but only if you say yes. I know saying yes feels impossible. You're waiting to feel ready. But readiness is not a feeling. It's a decision. The greatest leaders of history, the most impactful chosen ones, they didn't wait for the perfect moment. They moved when the world thought they weren't qualified. They stepped forward when their knees were shaking. They answered the call with trembling hands, because courage is not the absence of trembling. It's the decision to act despite it. And chosen one, you've been trembling for long enough. You've been hesitating long enough. The final call isn't waiting for your doubts to disappear. It's waiting for your decision to rise above them. Think of everything you've walked through. The losses, the rejection, the betrayals, the closed doors, the unanswered prayers, the sleepless nights. None of it was wasted. It was divine preparation. The world tried to tell you that your pain disqualified you. But in heaven's economy, your pain is your preparation. Your brokenness is your building ground. Your scars are proof that you've survived what was meant to destroy you. And now you're being called to rise from the ashes. You weren't designed to stay hidden. You weren't created to blend in. You were fashioned to stand apart, to carry a frequency only you possess, to release a sound only heaven recognizes. But that sound remains dormant. If you remain silent, it awakens through your movement, through your obedience, through your surrender. I know surrender feels terrifying. It means letting go of control. It means trusting when nothing makes sense. But chosen one, the path to purpose always requires surrender. The final call isn't about comfort. It's about courage. It's about stepping when the road feels invisible. It's about trusting when the timing feels wrong. It's about believing when your mind screams doubt. But when you step, the universe steps with you. The atmosphere shifts. Open. Opportunities align. The impossible begins to unfold. But only when you move. Most people will never experience that alignment. They'll stay in their comfort zone, waiting for external validation. They'll wait for signs, but reject the steps that follow. They'll pray for destiny, but run from discipline. But you're different. You wouldn't still be here if you weren't. You've been entrusted with a higher calling. You've been equipped with divine awareness. You've been prepared through fire. And now you're being called to activate what's been hidden. But activation doesn't happen by accident. It happens through intentional obedience. Think of the moments you've ignored the nudge, the times you silenced your intuition, the opportunities you passed because fear screamed louder than your faith. You can't afford to miss this. 1. The window is narrowing. The timing is accelerating. The atmosphere is ripe for your obedience. But the decision is yours. No one can say yes for you. Heaven can orchestrate alignment. The universe can flood your life with signs. But only you can activate your assignment. Only you can decide to move. Only you can choose to answer the call. And chosen one, this is the moment. The trembling you feel isn't weakness. It's alignment pressing against your hesitation. It's divine acceleration shaking your comfort zone. It's your spirit remembering why you're here, remembering who you are, remembering that you were made for this. The final call isn't random. It's been chasing you through dreams, through losses. Through divine disruptions. And now it's in front of you. You can't delay. Destiny forever. The world is changing. The earth is groaning. Universe is aligning. And your spirit is ready to rise. But heaven will not beg you. The final call is not a negotiation. It's an invitation. An invitation to awaken. To activate. To align. But it requires your yes. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Now. The universe is watching. The atmosphere is shifting. The timing is thinning. And chosen one, your decision will echo through generations. The trembling isn't your end. It's your beginning. The final call is now. The answer is yours. Chosen one. Do you feel it? That quiet trembling inside your spirit. That knowing, deep beneath the surface, that something is shifting. It isn't anxiety. It isn't uncertainty. It's the final alignment trying to meet your action. The world will tell you to wait, to play small, to seek permission. But heaven never operates on earthly rules. Heaven operates on obedience. Been sensing it for a while now. The patterns, the numbers, the people removed from your life, the strange timing that never made sense until now. All of it was preparation. The chosen are not the obvious. They are the overlooked, the underestimated, the broken who refuse to stay down. And that's why you're still here. Because your spirit remembers. It remembers who you are. It remembers why you're here. It remembers that you weren't created to blend in, to live in echo chambers, to hide your light. You were created to carry a sound only heaven recognizes, a frequency only you possess. But carrying that sound requires action. Alignment without movement is wasted potential. You've prayed for signs. You've begged for confirmation. And the signs have arrived, louder than ever. But chosen one, signs mean nothing without response. This is not a season to collect spiritual confirmations and do nothing with them. This is the moment where purpose demands your participation. It doesn't matter if you feel ready. It doesn't matter if you still question your worth. The final call isn't looking for your qualifications. It's looking for your willingness. Willingness to stand when others bow. Willingness to move when others freeze. Willingness to trust when everything feels unclear. Your spirit already knows this is real. That's why you feel the weight of these words. That's why your heart races as you listen. You've been sensing this moment coming. And now, it's here. The final call doesn't come twice. The window isn't endless. The atmosphere is shifting. The universe is aligning. And your assignment, your divine role is waiting. But heaven won't beg you. The question isn't whether you're chosen. The question is whether you'll respond. Most will not. Most will turn away. Most will silence the nudge. But you're still here. And that means the final call hasn't passed you by. Not yet. The time is now. The decision is yours. And chosen one. Your answer changes everything. You've come this far for a reason. You didn't stay because of curiosity alone. You stayed because your spirit recognizes truth when it hears it. You stayed because deep down, beneath the doubts, beneath the hesitation, you've always known you were never meant to live like the rest. Chosen one, the final call doesn't come for the comfortable. It comes for those who've been refined by fire, those who've walked through the silence, those who've questioned everything, yet still feel the pull in their soul that refuses to fade. That pull that's the reminder of who you are. The world tried to make you forget. Life tried to bury your calling beneath disappointment, beneath rejection, beneath endless delays. But destiny cannot be silenced. It waits. And when the time comes, it demands your attention. This is that time. You've been sensing the atmosphere shifting. You've seen the patterns. You've felt the strange alignment building around you. That isn't your imagination. That isn't coincidence. That's the divine blueprint pressing against your hesitation, waiting for you to awaken. But awakening comes with responsibility. The chosen aren't selected to sit still. They are chosen to disrupt, to awaken, to carry a sound that shifts atmospheres. You were never created to blend in. You were crafted to stand apart, to stand in alignment, to stand in purpose. But that purpose will never activate if you keep waiting to feel ready. You don't become ready by standing still. You become ready by moving. The final call doesn't come with perfect clarity. It comes with an invitation to trust, to surrender, to act even when the path is hidden. You've waited long enough. You've questioned long enough. The alignment is in place. The universe has already moved. Heaven has already whispered. And now it's your turn. Most will ignore the call. Most will choose comfort over courage. But not you. You've come too far. You've endured too much. You've felt the stirring in your spirit for too long to turn away. Now the trembling you feel isn't fear. It's divine acceleration. The uncertainty isn't a stop sign. It's the invitation to step anyway. Chosen one, the time for hesitation has passed. The world is shifting. The atmosphere is charged. The universe is aligning in ways you can't yet see, and your role in this alignment is waiting. The final call won't repeat itself. The window is narrow. The moment is now. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to feel qualified. You only need to say yes to obedience, yes to movement, yes to becoming the version of you that heaven has always seen, the version of you that walks in purpose, that carries divine authority, that releases the sound only you possess. Chosen one, this isn't about being noticed by the world. It's about being activated by heaven. It's about awakening to your calling. It's about becoming who you've always been, beneath the noise, beneath the fear, beneath the hesitation. The final call is here, and your answer changes everything. This is your time. This is your moment. Your destiny is waiting. Will you answer?